Alright guys, yeah, so we're just getting this thing ready to, I'm going to run Monsterliner over the entire truck. So, I know it's been a while since we made a video, but basically the whole Humvee's been stripped down. We sanded it, been putting in a lot of work, a lot of cleaning, and getting all the grease off and that kind of stuff. So I'm just taking this primer, kind of going over anything that's bare metal, and at this point, that should really be all I need to do before we start monster lining it. So, might need to do some taping, put some plastic down, stuff like that. But the monster liner stuff's roll on, which is really nice. So that makes it kind of easy. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and also just tape over all these data plates that are all over. I mean, there's like probably 20 of them on this truck. With the last truck, I made the mistake of trying to actually take these off, and I figured I'd just take them off and then put them back on after it had been painted. But the problem with doing that is all of these are glued on as well, and it's a really tacky glue. Maybe with the heat gun you can make it come off, maybe not. But I bent a lot of them up the last time, so I'm just going to go ahead and tape over these, and we'll just apply the monster liner over them in the tape, and hopefully that works out okay. But I think these are really cool, and I want to keep them on this truck because they're actually pretty informative, and it's just a cool thing to have. So, and also they might not lay down well over the texture of the monster liner anyway. So I think, yeah, we'll just go ahead and tape these up and kind of hope for the best. So fingers crossed. Okay guys, so we're at a point where everything's taped off. We also went ahead and started coating some of the other parts that aren't going to be painted our main color. We went ahead and started painting those black. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'll show you the front. It also kind of served as a good test run. There's the grill. Here's the front winch plate. So learned some valuable lessons on those. Basically, we're gonna have to start by putting this stuff on pretty thin. But so far, pretty satisfied with it. It's really cool. I'll show you the color we're doing here. Got in this bucket. So kind of looks like chocolate milk. Kicking stuff over. But yeah, all we can do is get started. I'm really liking this stuff. The fact that it's roll-on is so much better than the spray because we can do it indoors without crazy amounts of fumes and stuff. And you don't have to do so much prep work with taping and everything. You just have to kind of be careful, where you roll and where you use a paintbrush in the tight areas. But it's nice not having to tape off every single part that you don't want to cover in your bed liner. So we're gonna start getting it on though and just see how it goes. Alright guys, sorry I wasn't able to get the rest of that process. You probably got part of it sped up, like the front half of the Humvee being painted, but the camera ran out of memory, and I just couldn't be bothered to put a new SD card in it because this started getting pretty intense. So this was a job. It's not done yet. We got the first coat on. The second coat's going to be going on it tonight. It's about 9 o'clock up here. We're letting it kind of dry. Yep, it's a little tacky still. So, but this does give a good idea of what it's going to look like. And I am pretty dang happy with how this stuff's going on so far. Like you can see it's kind of light in some spots. So what the instructions say is the first coat you do is kind of light so it doesn't run. And then this Monstalined stuff is really good at sticking to itself. So the second coat you can go a lot heavier, apparently. And yeah, we got the black down there. Contrasts really nice with the tan. But man, just all these little crevices and stuff. Every little thing. I mean, it's not perfect, but that took up some serious time. And here, because you got to paint that with a brush. You can't roll that on. And you kind of got to like dab it on for the right texture. So my wife was going in, doing all this intricate stuff up here. She's done a really good job. Alright guys, I didn't get any time-lapse footage of the second coat because we just got busy and there wasn't much to see. But it's on, so it's still drying. But it's looking really nice. So I know we're pretty zoomed in because the shop's... I don't have much room to back up. We got the tub. So the second coat went on a whole lot quicker than the first, that's for sure. But you can't even tell this thing used to be green, man. Color looks really good. I mean, I'd say that was about as perfect as a match for a desert tan Humvee color as you could get. So now we're going to go ahead and, per the instructions, and peel off all the tape on the data plates, because you're supposed to do that as soon as you get the second coat on there. There's a little view of it further away. Can't get out of the shop yet because it's like freaking 20 degrees out. We gotta give this stuff some warmer temperatures to cure. I think it's only like 63 in the shop right now. We've got like 4 space heaters running. But yeah, she's looking good. Looks like a different kind of truck. Definitely transformed the look of it. I feel like it makes it look smaller. I don't know why. Let's do a little temperature check here. 63. Hopefully that holds out for us. We got space heater number 1, space heater number 2, space heater number 3, and way over there, space heater number 4. You can't see it. But we'll check back in tomorrow once this stuff's all dry. It's still shinier than it's going to look because it's still wet. But once it's dry, I'll check back in with you guys, and you'll see the end result in a moment here. Alright folks, day 2. Everything is dry. It is looking quite nice, if I say so myself. Let me take you around. So, here's the hood. This is the only part I'm kind of unhappy with. You can see some roller marks at the top there. May have been because I missed it. Might have been just because that's how it dried. It's the one thing. My Jeep's kind of got the same thing. But this stuff is roll-on, so, there might be some weird stuff like that at times. But it's barely visible. The rest of the truck went on perfectly. We did some touching up, just kind of going over all the spots we missed with whatever was left from the original bucket that hadn't completely dried out. But yeah, man, I am super happy with this. Look at the bed. And I'm not being paid by these people. I'm not sponsored. I'd love for them to sponsor me because I just can't say enough good things about their product. It goes on thick. I mean, it's really easy to roll this stuff on. It takes time, the intricate stuff up in here, especially up on the dashboard where you got to do it with the paintbrush, stuff like this. That takes a ton of time, but it still beats spraying. I'd much rather do it this way. But yeah, really happy with the color. We'll see how it holds up. This is just the first bit, but the thing that really matters is if this stuff holds up. So I'll check back in a year or two. But it's pretty cool. It looks like a whole different truck for sure. And then we went ahead and did black accents like I was showing you. So it's so dark you can't even really see it on camera. But we got black accents of the rear there. The black coat, you're supposed to do 2 coats. The black goes on so thick you really only kind of need 1. But there's the front bumper, front winch plate, whatever you want to call it. There's the grill, intake snorkel, and the cap. So I'm going to buy another quart of the black and hit a bunch of other stuff in the future. Still got the top to paint. Like I said, some other videos, this is a slant back. So there's the, I think they're called sponsons. Right there. Sitting in the pile right there. Still got to paint the doghouse. There's the rear hatch cover. But yeah, anyway, guys, pretty happy with it. Next step is kind of just to start getting all the other little things lined with this monster liner. The only thing, if I was going to offer a piece of advice, put on your first coat pretty thin because it can run for the first coat, especially if you're painting in sort of a colder environment. You're supposed to not go below 55 degrees, and it was about 60 in here, so pretty dang cold. But put on your first coat pretty thin, and then you can put on more for the second coat. But just don't do too much because you can get runs for sure. The black seems to go on a little better and easier than the colored stuff, but the colored stuff was still pretty easy. But just follow the instructions exactly. We didn't deviate at all, so we just said we did exactly what they told us to do, and it seems like it worked out pretty good. So it's not too bad. And then the only other thing I recommend is buy extra rollers from them. You're supposed to use their rollers. I've heard that makes it process a whole lot easier. and just buy extra paintbrushes. You can use any paintbrushes, but just have plenty of rollers, paintbrushes, and paint trays for the rollers. And you're gonna need a 5-gallon or a 2-gallon bucket and some mech or a mech substitute. So if you don't know what that is, just look it up. But other than that, it doesn't take much. A little bit of painter's tape to tape it off. But it's a pretty good result, if I do say so myself. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about the color. Hope you like it. Try to go more military this time, not civilianize it so much. I've got big plans for this thing. Really excited about it. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.